Alright, today we're going to be talking about decimal place value. The most important thing is your place value chart, so we're always going to write our place value chart, and we'll start out with the tens place with whole numbers, tens, ones, our decimal, then we have our tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Alright, so these are our whole numbers to the left of the decimal, and everything to the right of the decimal is less than a whole. Alright, so let's start out with this decimal, 2.573. Now I want you to always write your place values above the number until you get like super awesome at it. So here is our ones place. We can refer to our place value chart. Here's our decimal. Here's our decimal. To the left is the ones. Right next door is the tenths place, the hundredths, and the thousandths. Okay, so I showed you a little strategy also that will help you. If you bring this decimal down as like an imaginary one and you put zeros under each place value, you can see that 5 is in the tenths place because it makes like a 10. The 7 would be in the hundredths place. You can see the 100 is 100. And then 1000, 1000, the 3 is in the thousandths place. So this is just a little strategy that will help you remember your place value. Alright, how I read this decimal. It is read 2 and, anytime you see the decimal, it's and, 2 and 573 thousandths. 2 and 573 thousandths. The last digit 3 is in the thousandths place. So we can write that 2 and 573 thousandths. All right, the next way is expanded notation, how we can represent this decimal number. All right, so expanded notation, you can use decimals or you can use fractions. So let's use expanded notation using fractions first. All right, so we're going with the place value. You have 2, and that is in the ones place. So that's why I'm using a 2 times 1, because 2 is in the ones place. Then I'm going to add a 5 in the tenths place, 5 tenths. So 5 times 1/10 will give you 5 tenths. Alright, next is my 7. 7 is in the hundredths place, so 7 times 100. And then lastly, you have the 3 times the 1,000ths place. Oh, we're running out of room. Alright, so if I was to actually multiply these numbers out and then add them up, I should get 2 and 573 thousandths. 5 times 1/10 is 5 tenths. 7 times 100 is 7 hundredths. And 3 times 1,000th is 3 thousandths. Alright, so let's do the decimal part of expanded notation. We're still keeping our 2 times the ones place because that's our whole number. So now we're gonna do 5 times the 10th place. So now we're just using our place value chart up here. Our tenths is decimal point and then our tenths place, so 0.1. So 5 times a tenth is 5 tenths plus 7 times, 7 is in the hundredths place, so skip the tenths place and go over to the hundredths place. And lastly, we have 3 times the thousandths place, so skip the tenths and the hundredths and go over to thousandths. Alright, next is the number line. Alright, so we are starting past the number 2. So I'm not going to put 0 or 1 on my number line because we are already going past 2. So I'm going to put the numbers 2 and 3 as my whole numbers. So since we're dealing with tenths, hundredths, and thousandths, I'm going to make my intervals at tenths. So I'll make 10 to the next whole number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will be my whole number 3. So each one of those lines is a tenth. So this will represent 2 and 1 tenth, 2 and 2 tenths, 2 and 3 tenths, 2 and 4 tenths, 2 and 5 tenths, 2 and 6 tenths, 2 and 7 tenths, 2 and 8 tenths, 2 and 9 tenths, and then we get to the 3 wholes. Alright, so to determine where this 2 and 573 thousandths goes on this number line, a lot of people might say it goes right here on 2 and 5 tenths because they see the 2 and 5 tenths. But it is past the 2 and 5 tenths because we have this a little bit more, 73 thousandths added to this 5 tenths. So 2 and 573 thousandths, yes, will go in between 2 and 5 tenths and 2 and 6 tenths. So that is where it goes on the number line. Alright, so this will wrap up our decimal place value. We can refer to our journal because we have plenty of examples there also.